Peace and love, family. Peace and love. You see this right there? These are the biggest tea tie or blood vine I come across. Huge. Now, this right here, we know it as blood tea tie or blood vine. And if you go to Mexico, other places, they might call it bejuco de sangre. It have a scientific name called Machaerium kegelii. Machaerium kegelii. Now, in Belize, this vine is known to build up the blood. But if you're trying to find some studies or some research on this, you might not find a lot of research on it. You will find, however, maybe a review done in 2015 where they did report that this contains antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compounds. It also contains anti-parasitic characteristics. But the problem with this plant right there, the problem with this plant is, along with many other medicinal plants, is that there isn't a multi-billion-dollar company that is eager to fund research on this. That's the problem. See, the use of these medicinal plants, right, are not advertised nor encouraged by a for-profit drug company. It is advertised mainly word of mouth, and it's coming from many generations of indigenous practices and indigenous recommendations. It is said that it's good to build up the blood, especially after pregnancy, when you lose a lot of blood, or maybe after you had an accident, maybe you cut yourself, or you got into a very, very bad accident where you lost a lot of blood. This is what they would recommend. They also recommend it for liver problems. A lot of people claim that this is good to fix the liver. I personally use this when I have the chance in my bitters mix. And herbalists across the Central America, all of Central America, use this plant and they get incredible results. But there are many people who cannot benefit from this plant. Many people will not be able to benefit from this plant or many other plants like these. And do you want to know why? All right, well, you see, back in the days when people would drink a tea out of something like this, right, like blood vine, their lifestyle was different. Most of them worked outside, in the field or on the farm, and they would work out in the sun frequently. And the types of food that they ate was more than likely organic. It was more than likely local. And they would walk around barefoot frequently. And it was a different time, and it was a different lifestyle that they have. But see, nowadays, if someone drinks a nice cup of blood vine, right, or of bitters, they would probably later on in that day drink a big Coke, or they would eat a big thing like this of fried chicken, tacos, or some salbutes, all of that, which is probably going to be fried in the most toxic cooking oil ever invented and created by a man. People today eat far more junk food, and they drink far more artificial energy drinks than people in the past, And it is because of this that plants, medicinal plants, like this right here, cannot work as good as it did before. It can only do so much. To enrich the blood, right, or to build up the blood, we actually need a healthy gut. We need a gut that is full of healthy bacteria. And so that our bacteria can break down the food and extract the vital minerals from the food and put it into the blood. But instead, most people of today have their guts filled with 1,2,3 oil and other types of junk food. And these junk foods are full of artificial chemicals. And a lot of people have their guts full of meats that are contaminated with artificial estrogens, artificial hormones, antibiotics, vaccines. Plants like this right here, they cannot be of much help to somebody who has such a poor and unhealthy diet, unfortunately. If the lifestyle is poor, this can only do so much. So it might help a little bit, it might help a little bit for a short time. But the thing is the overload of contaminated fake food, it outweighs the benefits of these plants right here, the medicinal qualities that this plant may have to offer. To get the benefits of these medicinal plants, we would have to basically change our lifestyle. We have to stop eating so much toxic and unhealthy food. We would have to sweat more often. We would have to eat less, not 3 times a day, but maybe once a day. Fasting is actually one of the best medicines. And we would need to eat way more fruits instead of Dala juice or Monster, We don't really get sick because of bad luck. We get sick because of poor choices, and we know this. And when the body tries to fix itself or clean itself, we think that the symptoms being expressed are the problem. And therefore, what we do is we medicate these symptoms. We think that high blood pressure is a disease. And we fail to recognize that high blood pressure is how the body moves trash through and out of the blood filters. How else would the body push the trash that the filters collect without pressure? We think that high cholesterol is a disease, and by medicating it, we fail to learn that cholesterol is actually a raw ingredient, a raw material that the body uses to build every single hormone it creates. It's also used to fix the brain, fix nerve tissue, fix the cells, the membranes of the cells. We even think that flu is a sickness, and by suppressing these symptoms of the flu, we don't allow the body to actually expel the mucus it has collected from the previous months of an unhealthy diet and an unhealthy lifestyle. We fail to realize that mucus is one of the ways that the body neutralizes toxins and uses it while it's taking it out of the body. We know that goma or hangover is not a sickness. Yet we fail to learn that goma is actually a detoxification of the liver. And that the only way the body, or the only way to help the body to detoxify that fast is through a goma. This is why some of us experience a loss of appetite, because fasting is one of the ways that we allow the liver to cleanse. And therefore, when we experience goma, we naturally fast, we don't have an appetite. It is because the body is very smart and intelligent. So if we want to go natural, right, and if we want to reap the benefits and of the abundance of different plant medicines that we have in our land, then we must consider or reconsider what disease is. The idea that symptoms are sicknesses and that we need to suppress and medicate it, perhaps that idea needs to change. Like, if you look at it, when we get food poisoning, right, the gut cries in pain and it expresses a natural detoxification called diarrhea in order to resolve the problem. I mean, what better way to deal with poisoning than to just flush it out with diarrhea, right? But there are so many people who think that diarrhea is a sickness and not an intelligent response of the body. And this misunderstanding right here is one of many misunderstandings. To build the blood, we need to start cleansing and strengthening the gut. That's the first thing. That's the foundation, the gut. Once we cleanse the gut and we give it time to heal, time to rebuild the bacterial life, that bacteria in our gut will feed our blood. We are supposed to eat food to feed the bacteria in our gut so that that gut bacteria can feed the blood. Does that make sense? See, the gut-blood relationship is evidence that there's a symbiotic relationship between man and bacteria. But currently, we treat the gut and the bacteria in the gut as it is an enemy. And while also, we fail to acknowledge that the fake foods, the toxic foods, are the real cause of the infection. We resort to basically a slow suicide by taking these antibiotics. Now, if we're able to cleanse our gut and while also changing the lifestyle, then we can proceed to help the body detoxify. Detox includes the liver, right? And it feels really bad. It feels like any goma. A real detox feels bad. I just want to make that clear, If you can change your lifestyle and if you can cleanse, for maybe 14 to 21 days, and then you can detox for 7 to 14 days, then, and only then, can you help your body repair itself, help your body fix itself. Repair is done after a proper cleanse and after a detox. Now, if you're ready to do a lifestyle change, right, and you're ready to dedicate at least 3 weeks to a herbal treatment, then you can feel free to reach out to me. I'll send you some information. You can also reach out to me if you want to schedule a one-on-one consultation in person, or it could be over the phone. And if you've reached this part of the video, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I truly hope that the information in this video is helpful. Until then, peace, love, and health.